Tour de France 2023, after 5 parks, this is the final episode, and today we're going to be really negative about Disneyland Paris.
Today we are in Disneyland Paris, 2 parks, studios and the main park. The video today is going to be a bit different. It's pointless to tell you what it's on offer, is it worth a visit, tops and flops and all that. We all know the story of Disneyland. But the point is, it's the first park in Europe in terms of number of guests. It's expensive compared to the rest of the parks in Europe. So is it worth the price they're asking? Is the number of attractions enough to justify the price? Let's find out together.
And so let's talk about the tickets first. You're going to need 2 days in both parks, and this is going to cost you over £200 per head, which is a lot. In return, you're going to have access to both parks, so the studios and the main Disney park. Those parks are a mix of the classic, famous Disney attractions mixed with what I would say French grandeur. So what you're gonna find are the world famous attraction like the Hollywood Tower and the castle and I don't know, toys and Space Mountain and all that, and it's a small world. But it feels like they've been realized in a better, bigger way compared to the original in US. Probably the standard when they opened this park was really high, but also maybe they got a different way of building. But when you look at this area here, for example, which is inspired to the Jules Verne books, this one is one of a kind in the Walt Disney parks, and also it's breathtaking and kind of a rookburg. But also when you look at the castle, they even got like a grotto underneath with an animatronic, and I don't know, Big Thunder Mountain, for example. Yes, it's the usual Big Thunder Mountain that you find in the Walt Disney parks, but this one is just nicer, it's better, it's faster, it's longer, it goes underwater on an island and all that. So you got that feeling that what has been done originally is actually a really high standard, and it's kind of an improvement compared to the counterpart in the US. Also, the Haunted Mansion, for example, Disney classic, but here with a kind of a twist in the story, properly done, amazing indoor dark ride. So you're gonna find all the classics, but of course not all of them. You got some of the classics implemented in an amazing way. Unfortunately, all the rest is missing, and there are plenty of fillers. What are the fillers? Basically, forget about the Imagineering Disney concept and all that. They are off-the-shelf manufacturer rides which have been put in the park with quick and dirty theming, trying to build a story which clearly doesn't exist or is not credible. And so you're gonna find quite a lot of those off-the-shelf a kind of fanfare style, to a certain extent, attractions, which are far, far below the standards of Disney and are against the Imagineering concept and the fact that all the Disney attractions are designed by Disney and all that. An example, the Indiana Jones coaster really looks like taken straight out of a fanfare. It looks like one of those portable ones. And so these kind of attractions are really below standard. Then you're going to find a lot of last-minute re-theming and rebranding of attraction. For example, this one is the studio tour that has been rebranded around the franchise of toys, and unfortunately it's just an horrible rebranding. Then you got Space Mountain, all these steampunk theming Jules Verne, now branded Star Wars for unknown reason, and this rebranding is just pathetic. It doesn't fit at all with the steampunk theme, which is still all over the place. And then moving on, like, I don't know, Avengers Campus, yes, nice addition or whatever, but at the end of the day, the main attraction, which is the coaster, it's an old coaster, was the existing one, the rock and roll coaster, the Aerosmith one. They sticked an animatronic at the entrance of Iron Man, and there you go, now it's an Avengers themed roller coaster. Again, not really convincing. Now, apart from the lack of attraction, you would expect everything to work perfectly in this park, and unfortunately this is not the case. For example, all the shows, they got really limited opening hours, which are not the park opening hours, which is again why. And then during our visit, it was like a non-stop breakdown, downtime of attractions. And here you're gonna see some examples. Apart from an evacuation on Autopia, but things kept like just breaking down. So on Buzz, on our ride, probably we got stuck like 5 or 6 times, and then there was a major issue on Ratatouille as well, so it closed down and other people in the queue just started camping along the queue. But also simpler rides, if something gets broken, it doesn't get fixed. Here you see this lovely green tarpaulin to cover the faulty cars and things like that. Now, I'm gonna show you probably the highlight of the park, which is the Lion King inspired musical. This show is just amazing, and you wouldn't expect it actually, so it was like a big surprise. And during this footage, I'm gonna just wrap it up and give you my kind of verdict. Now, we need to keep in mind that we're talking about Europe, so Europe is a really competitive environment in terms of theme park for 2 reasons. One is that on average the entry ticket is €50, leave alone what we are used to in UK with the Merlin annual pass and what you can do with £50 for 12 months with that. But say that in Europe you got like a really competitive in terms of pricing and also in terms of offering, because all the parks are competing to have the newest coaster, the latest technology, and Tutati is this year, Voltron next year, and a Batman Escape and all that. So we got kind of constantly raising the bar and offering actually really lovely themed parks with amazing coasters, because I mean we got Fantasyland, we got Europa Park, and we got quite a lot going on in Europe for £50 or €50. So Disney, it's really like overpriced. They promised new attractions on the way, like the Frozen Land, which has been in the making like forever, and this one which should be like Galaxy Edge. It's out of focus for a reason. So you're gonna soon realize that the studios haven't got much on offer, so you're probably gonna do everything by lunchtime, kind of Ferrari Land experience to a certain extent, and that you miss decent coaster like Ride to Happiness so much that you're gonna try to turn Buzz into a spinning coaster, fading. Say that. Being serious, I think the price they charge is just far too much compared to what they offer. So unless you are into the Disney magic or you got kids, of course they got really strong IPs, don't get me wrong. But compared to what you can find in other European theme parks for €50, especially in terms of hardware, Disney is not aligned, it's just underperforming. Say that, I hope you enjoyed the video and please subscribe to the channel.